She hasn't said a word, but when you place your hand gently on her lower back, she leans in just slightly and you can feel it. That shift, that soft surrender. It's not about charm. It's not about bold moves. It's not even about technique. It's about something more rare. Presence. The kind that reaches her before your words ever do. Have you ever wondered why a simple touch, one that seems casual to everyone else, can make a woman pause, lean in, and feel something she hasn't felt in years? If you stay with me, I'm going to show you 7 emotional zones on a woman's body, especially a woman over 40, that when touched gently and respectfully, can awaken something deep inside her. Something she may not even realize she's been missing. These aren't just physical places, they're emotional doorways. Each one speaks a different language: trust, affection, safety, admiration. And the final one? Most men never even think of it. But when you do, she won't forget it. If this speaks to you, if something in you knows this kind of connection matters, just type "connection" in the comments. I read every single one, and I want this to be a shared journey, not just my voice. So let's begin. Let's start with something subtle, something easily overlooked, but quietly powerful in how it makes her feel seen and supported. The lower back. It doesn't shout for attention. It isn't one of those places that shows up in movies or romance novels, but in real life, in the quiet, ordinary moments, like walking down a sidewalk together, crossing a parking lot, or just making your way through a crowd. A soft hand, placed gently on her lower back, can speak volumes. This isn't about control. It's not about showing dominance or claiming space. It's about communicating without words that you're right there with her, that you're aware of her, that you've got her. The way you place your hand matters. It should be light, almost unnoticeable, like you're there but not pushing, just present, steady. A hand that's too firm or intentional might feel invasive, but a soft, calm hand that says, "You're safe, I'm right here beside you." It offers comfort. It reminds her that she's not alone, that you're tuned in. And here's the thing, she feels it. Even if she doesn't say anything, she notices. A woman over 40, especially one who's been through life, who's carried responsibility, who's used to being the one in charge. She doesn't always get that kind of subtle care anymore. So when it happens, it lands differently. It's not dramatic, but it's powerful. Now it's important to read the moment. Don't force it. Don't add extra weight to it. The beauty of this touch is in its ease. It feels natural, honest, like something a man does when he's not trying to impress her, but simply letting her know, "I see you. I'm here." And in that moment, if the timing is right, you may notice a shift in her. Maybe she steps just a little closer. Maybe her body relaxes. Maybe nothing changes outwardly, but inside, something opens up. That's what this kind of touch does. It creates space, emotionally and physically, where she can let go, where she doesn't have to lead, where she feels supported, not pursued. It might seem small, but small things are often the ones that stay with us the longest. And when it's done with warmth, with quiet confidence, with no agenda but connection, the lower back becomes one of the most meaningful places you can reach her. Not for attention, not for approval, but to remind her of something she may not have felt in a long time, what it means to be gently, respectfully cared for. If you're with me so far, keep watching, because the next place we're going speaks to something even deeper in her. A part of her that's rarely touched but deeply remembered. There's something quietly magnetic about the back of a woman's neck. The nape. It's one of those places we pass by every day without thinking twice, but when touched with real intention, it holds the kind of emotional weight that stays with her long after the moment is over. The nape is delicate, often exposed, and deeply personal. Unlike more obvious places, it doesn't ask to be noticed, which is exactly why it matters so much when someone does. It's not a place you reach for casually. It's a place you earn your way to. Picture the everyday moments where it can happen naturally. Maybe you're helping her adjust a necklace. Maybe you're brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Or maybe you're just pulling her in for a hug, and your hand gently grazes the back of her neck. You don't grab, you don't linger, you just let your fingertips make contact. Soft, sincere, and respectful. That simple gesture can send a ripple through her that says, "I see what others overlook, and I value it." For a woman who's learned to protect herself, whose life has taught her to stay composed, this kind of light, thoughtful touch can feel like an invitation to exhale. It signals not only attraction but emotional safety, the rare kind of closeness where she can let her guard down and just be. There's something about a light touch on the arm that feels so natural. Most people miss how powerful it really is. It's simple, it's accessible, but when it's done right, it carries an emotional weight that goes far beyond the physical. In moments of connection, when you're laughing together, listening closely, or sharing something personal, that soft, unforced touch on her arm becomes a signal. You're not just hearing her words, you're feeling what she's saying. You're there with her, in it, not just nearby. The arm is a perfect bridge between distance and closeness. It doesn't cross boundaries, it doesn't make her feel cornered or uncomfortable. It simply says, "I'm here, I'm paying attention." And in today's world, where people are always distracted by phones, by noise, by the pace of everything, that kind of presence is rare. When you reach out and gently touch her arm in conversation, it makes the moment more real, more grounded. It tells her that the connection isn't just surface level. It's not about grabbing or holding. It's about letting your hand find her in a way that feels natural and sincere. That easy kind of contact, when your body reflects what your heart is paying attention to, makes her feel like she matters. And when a woman feels seen and felt like that, something shifts. She leans in. She stays. There's a kind of closeness that doesn't come from words or action, but from quiet stillness. And the knee is one of those places where that kind of intimacy lives. It's not a dramatic place to touch, and that's what makes it so meaningful. When you're sitting side by side, maybe on the couch watching a movie, or just sharing a quiet moment over a drink, placing your hand gently on her knee becomes a calm, grounding gesture. It doesn't push or pull. It doesn't ask for anything. It simply says, "I'm here, I'm with you." This kind of touch isn't about sparking excitement. It's about anchoring the moment. A soft hand resting on her knee, with no pressure, no rush, just presence. It creates an emotional space where she can relax. It signals comfort. It tells her she doesn't have to perform, doesn't have to fill the silence, doesn't have to be anything other than herself. You're not there to fix or entertain, you're there to share that quiet with her. The knee might seem like an ordinary place, but in stillness, it becomes something more. A small reminder that connection doesn't always need movement to be felt. Sometimes, just being there, fully there, is more than enough. And in that stillness, she feels safe to stay close. There's something quietly meaningful about the way you place your hand on a woman's waist. It's a gesture that says more than most people realize. When done gently and with respect, it carries a message of balance, grace, and shared movement. Whether you're walking side by side, dancing slowly to a favorite song, or posing together, for a photo, touching her waist becomes more than just a casual action. It becomes a sign that you're moving with her, not ahead of her or behind her, but right beside her. It's a physical way of saying, we're in this together. The waist is personal, it's close to the center of her body, and often it's a space she protects without thinking. So when your hand finds its way there in a moment that feels natural and caring, it signals something powerful. Not possession, not pressure, but connection. It tells her you understand the rhythm of trust, that you're not rushing, not forcing anything, just quietly syncing up with her energy and pace, and she'll feel that. She may not mention it, but her body will lean in slightly, her breathing might soften, and she'll know you're someone who pays attention to how she moves, how she feels, In a world that moves fast and often feels disconnected, that kind of quiet, graceful connection is something rare and something she won't forget. Hands have always been one of the most honest ways we communicate without saying a thing. There's something timeless about holding someone's hand. It's simple, yet deeply intimate. It doesn't try to impress, and it doesn't demand anything. It just says, clearly and quietly, "I'm here with you." When you reach out to take her hand, whether you're walking down the street, sharing a laugh across the table, or sitting quietly in a moment between conversations, it becomes more than just contact. It becomes connection. Unlike a quick brush on the shoulder or a passing glance, a hand held is steady. It lingers. It grounds both of you in the present. It tells her that in this fast, noisy world, you're choosing to slow down for her. And when your grip is warm, gentle, and unhurried, it gives her space to soften into that moment with you. She doesn't have to wonder where you stand. She doesn't have to question your attention. She can feel it right there in your palm. For many women, especially as they grow older, this kind of quiet closeness becomes more valuable than anything else. Not because it's romantic in the typical sense, but because it's real. When you hold her hand like you mean it, not to impress her, but to be close, she'll know, and she'll hold on too. The wrist is one of the most overlooked yet surprisingly intimate places you can touch a woman. It's not bold or flashy. It doesn't make a statement the way holding hands or a hug might, but that's what makes it so powerful. It's subtle, it's graceful, and when you approach it with care, it carries a quiet kind of emotional weight that lingers longer than most people realize. In everyday moments like helping her with a bracelet or saying goodbye at the end of a night, your fingertips, lightly grazing her wrist, can create an unexpected sense of closeness. There's a certain elegance to the wrist. The skin there is softer, more sensitive, and the gesture of touching it feels personal, almost private. When you gently take her wrist in your hand, not to hold it tightly, but just to guide it, adjust something, or give her a parting touch, it says something simple and honest. I notice you. I see what others don't. It's not about seduction, it's about appreciation. Noticing the little things. Her watch, the way she moves, the way she turns her hand, is a way of showing her that you're paying attention in the quiet moments. And that kind of attention is rare. Most people rush past the details. But when you slow down and take the time to connect with her in those small, almost invisible ways, it tells her that what's delicate and unspoken about her doesn't go unnoticed by you. It tells her that you don't need a loud moment to feel something deep, and that is something she'll carry with her, even after the moment is gone. Imagine this. You're standing beside her, maybe just about to say goodbye, and your fingers gently brush her wrist as you reach to adjust her sleeve or help her with her bracelet. She pauses, not because she's startled, but because she felt something. Not something loud or overwhelming, but something real. That's the magic of this kind of touch. It's in the soft, unexpected moments that connection deepens the most. And as we've seen in every part of this journey, these gentle points of contact, whether it's her back, her hand, her neck, or her wrist, aren't just physical gestures. They're emotional invitations. They say, I'm with you, I see you, and I respect you. These touches aren't about seduction, they're about presence. They're about the kind of man you are when no one else is watching. The man who knows how to slow down, how to notice, how to connect without needing to perform. And those are the moments women remember. Not the lines you said, or the flowers you brought, but the way your presence made them feel. So which of these gestures do you find yourself using naturally? And which one surprised you the most? Is there one you're curious to try the next time you're with someone you care about? Let me know in the comments. Just drop the word that stood out to you most. Maybe it's wrist, maybe nape, maybe presence. I read every message, and I love hearing which moments resonated with you. And if this opened something up for you, if it helped you understand a little more about emotional closeness, about what real connection looks like, I invite you to like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who'd value it. Because in the next video, we'll talk about something even more subtle and powerful. A single sentence that, when said at the right time, can shift the way a woman feels about you completely. You won't want to miss it.